Our next guest is busy scouring for the finest and freshest ingredients from Connecticut farms to be featured in the only local and organic festival here in Connecticut. Chef John Turenne is the president of the Connecticut Northeast Organic Farming Association and is also at Sustainable Food Systems. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much, Jocelyn.
Tell us about your work with Sustainable Food Systems. I understand you work closely with school systems and hospitals.
That's exactly it. What we do is we work with institutions like that to transform their food programs to be healthier and more sustainable. So it's about putting real food, local food, delicious food on the plates of students and patients.
Excellent. And you've got a fabulous meal in front of us here, a very healthy meal.
It is.
What are we making?
Well, you know what it's all about? It's summertime. It's about...
It's still summer, exactly.
It's for a little bit longer,
For a little
yes.
bit longer.
It's about sourcing and foraging from local farmers markets, and we're going to take something as simple as pizza. We're going to make it a little exotic because we grilled the dough, and I basically went out shopping yesterday and picked up whatever I could get and grilled that, and we're going to top 3 different kinds of pizzas.
Excellent. Now, the dough itself, can you buy the dough already made?
You could, yes, and that's what I do. You can buy it at grocery stores, or a lot of bakeries will buy it. I like to use small pieces of dough, about a 4-ounce dough ball, because that way you're going to get a small individual pizzas. And this is something to make with kids. Absolutely, get the kids.
It's a fun thing to do. So when you grill it, do you put olive oil or anything on it?
Nothing dry. Just have a really hot grill. Flatten it out, spread out the dough.
Put it on there.
Put it on. Let it grill on one side. Flip it over. Finish it on the other. Pull it off the heat. And then you're going to see how we top it.
Okay, let's see what we can build here.
Sure. So the first thing we're going to do is what we call a margarita pizza.
Oh, one of my favorites. This is extremely healthy.
And it does not get any simpler than this. It's sliced tomatoes. We happen to have a few different heirloom tomatoes. We went to Sport Hill Farm yesterday in Easton and picked these up. These tomatoes are just sliced fresh.
The tomatoes are just flourishing this year.
They are. We've been very blessed. Last summer was another story. We had a lot of blight, and there was a scarcity. This year, I think it's making up for it.
And now, what else are we putting here?
So I'm sprinkling a little bit of basil over it, and this is probably the simplest pizza you could make. Just a margarita pizza. So we sprinkled some basil on it. I happen to have some sharp provolone cheese. You could use Parmesan. You could use anything.
John,
just make sure it's good.
I've always wanted
cheese.
To know, the green tomato, is that a sweet tomato?
No, I don't think so. It's got a unique flavor to it, but I don't think it's sweet. You often find your yellow tomatoes are less acidic.
Okay.
You'll hear that often, so if you want to avoid that. But I think the summer heirloom tomatoes are a treat to taste and eat. So that's it.
Okay, and then what do you do?
So then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven. But if it's okay, I'd like to start a second one.
Our second pizza, absolutely. While we're starting our second pizza, you were actually in the White House earlier this summer.
I was. I had the opportunity to, because of Sustainable Food Systems, we were asked to be involved with Michelle Obama's chef as he created Chefs Move to Schools. So it's all about local chefs adopting schools in their areas. So it could be a chef from a fine restaurant, say in Branford, Connecticut, working with the Branford school systems and trying to help educate students and the staff and the food program.
It's great to be part of a national effort.
It was a learning experience too, getting through security at the White House. But I made it through. Yes. So now we're going to do a grilled eggplant and fontina pizza.
Okay.
And again, Jocelyn, I can't stress enough, this is what I got at the farmer's market yesterday. It could be anything. You could grill zucchini, you could grill yellow squash, onions and peppers.
Anything you have in your garden, really.
Exactly. Some of this actually did come from my garden, too. This is pesto. You could buy pesto, you could make pesto. If you make your own pesto, which is basil, Parmesan cheese, some garlic, and pine nuts, I would suggest if you make your own, make sure you make enough so you can freeze it.
Okay, I'm going to hold this down for you so it doesn't move.
You. So that's our base, is pesto, and then I sliced some eggplant
very thinly.
Very thin, and it's already grilled.
Okay.
I'm going to lay that on top. We've got some fontina cheese.
And what kind of cheese is Fontina cheese? Is it a sharp taste?
No, it's a mild Italian cheese.
Okay.
It's a mild Italian, so we like it with the eggplant. And then for this one, I think for an herb, let's use tarragon. You know, there's nothing wrong, as long as you don't go overboard, there's nothing wrong with just sprinkling the herbs on top.
And that's it?
That's really it. If you notice what I'm using, a little bit of kosher salt. I always like kosher salt, and fresh cracked pepper, always fresh cracked.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, let's move on to our third pizza.
A third and last pizza.
Our third and last pizza. And while we're doing that, let's talk about the Taste Organic Connecticut event.
Taste Organic Connecticut NOFA is it's an organization that works with advocacy and education opportunities to really promote local organic agriculture in the state.
And this is the 10th year of doing it.
It is, I believe it's the 10th, yes, the 10th year of Taste, and it's a wonderful event on September 19th at Manchester Community College.
You see all the information right there on your screen from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., John, is that right?
It is, and there's all kinds of activities for kids, classes, cooking classes, cheese making classes, and I'll be there, we'll be there making different types of sliders, mini burgers with Connecticut grass-fed beef, et cetera, et cetera.
Will be beef, turkey,
we're going to use beef, lamb, and we're going to do a vegetarian with mushrooms.
Okay. Now, what kind of pizza are you making over there?
So now we took corn.
Corn?
Found some corn at the farmer's market. I roasted a couple of tomatoes, which you probably saw me squeezing into this. It's important to use a strainer because these tomatoes could be moist, could be messy.
Okay,
you want to throw
a
yes. Pizza slice on there?
There you go.
So it's all about getting out on the grill and grilling all this stuff up. We got some feta cheese from Beltane Farms out in Lebanon. Let's put feta on this, give it a little bit of a sharp bite.
A kick to it, exactly.
Go ahead.
And is that it?
That is it.
I'll pass this on to you. And how long do we put it in the oven?
We've got a hot oven, and I would just put it in for about 3 to 5 minutes. Keep an eye on it, because keep in mind, most of the stuff is already cooked.
And if you want this recipe, just come to our website, WTNH.com, and click on Connecticut Style. Smells fabulous. John, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, we're learning